Imagine a world recalibrating. From the wind farms of Scandinavia to the solar packs of the Sahara, nations are embarking on an unprecedented journey, a global transition towards sustainability. It's a complex puzzle of policy, innovation and ambition, all aimed at one critical goal: reducing our carbon footprint and safeguarding our planet for generations to come. This isn't just a story about distant superpowers. The most compelling chapters are often written in smaller, collaborative spaces. And today we're traveling to one such space, right here in Nairobi, a place where international diplomacy and environmental action converge. We're going inside the carbon-neutral embassy of Belgium. But first, let's bridge the continents. Our journeys connect Kenya to a nation over 6,000 kilometers away, a founding heart of the European Union, Belgium. Nestled in Western Europe with its capital in Brussels, also the de facto capital of the EU, Belgium is a small country with a colossal reputation. It is the birthplace of the saxophone, the inventor of the world map projection we use today, and let's settle the debate once and for all. The French fry was actually perfected on the streets of Belgium. The straight line distance from Brussels to Nairobi is about 6,546 kilometers, a vast expanse that spans cultures, climates, and ecosystems. Yet, for decades, this distance has been bridged by partnership. Since Kenya's independence in 1963, Belgium has been a steadfast ally, collaborating in areas from trade and infrastructure to public health and increasingly in Kenya's green transformation. This brings us to the embassy's doors. As a member of the European Union, Belgium is committed to the EU's Bold Green Deal, a blueprint for becoming the first climate-neutral continent. And here in Nairobi, they are putting that philosophy into practice. This isn't just an office, it's a living laboratory. We are talking about a building powered by renewable energy, like harnessing the abundant Kenyan sun. We are talking about water recycling systems, cutting-edge energy efficiency, and a comprehensive approach that covers everything from waste management to sustainable procurement. So how does it all work? What does it truly take for a diplomatic mission to achieve net zero status in a foreign country? And what lessons does this hold for the future of both diplomacy and sustainable development in Africa?
All right, so today we're coming to you right from the middle of the Belgian embassy in Nairobi, and this is one of the green spaces we have here. We're here on the invitation of Ambassador His Excellency Peter Maddens. Thank you so much, Ambassador, for allowing us into this beautiful space.
Good morning.
But before we even start on about the concept of carbon zero that we have here at the embassy, there's a very interesting part of your story that I just come to learn. That about 45 years ago, something similar to what you're doing here happened, and it was within the family. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, my dad is one of my predecessors. So my dad was ambassador here in the 1970s.
Wow.
My sister and I were teenagers. My parents actually arrived here on my sister's 13th birthday.
How old were you then?
I was 15.
Wow.
This was in October 1975. And then we went to school here. I mean, I was still in school, in boarding school in Belgium for a couple of years, but I ended up coming here to finish my A-levels at St. Mary's.
Wow. So it means that you spent a huge chunk or quite a huge part of your younger years in Kenya.
Yeah, I did.
Did that influence your return here as a diplomat?
Of course, yeah. Yeah, I mean, my dad, this was my dad's first ambassadorship. It'll be my last one. I thought it was, poetic to close the family circle, if you will.
Did you choose to come here for your last assignment?
It's not my choice. It's my minister's choice. But I did let him know that, or I did let my sister know. Let's put it that way. That I would be interested in serving here. Yeah.
What is your best memory of that time back then, when you were a younger person here in Kenya?
Oh goodness, there were so many. I guess the funnest memory was I learned how to drive with my mom's Volkswagen Beetle.
Here in Kenya?
Yeah, which was a left-hand drive because we imported it from Europe.
All right.
Driving up the Rift Valley Escarpment, coming back from Naivasha, in a left-hand drive Beetle, coming up the escarpment.
A left-hand drive.
Yeah, that was a little hairy.
All right. So there's something you're doing that is so special here, and if we may just walk around here.
Sure.
And you were showing me around, and the kind of concept that you talk about. What does it really mean to be carbon zero? Because many people may not understand that concept.
Yeah. Well, actually, the term is carbon neutral, which means that you've compensated for all the carbon that you either produce in operation or that you've used to build. What we've created is a net zero operating system. So we have no carbon emissions. Zero.
Complete here.
Completely. Close enough to zero. The plan is to become net negative so that we actually tend towards carbon neutral. See, what we've done is we've put in solar panels, we recycle all our water, we create our own cooking gas, and by the way, that gas also serves to heat water in the staff quarters, and we grow our own vegetables.
All right.
So we're basically off-grid.
But the situation in Kenya is that we haven't developed that much in as far as technology is concerned.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So what are the drawbacks?
Oh, I wouldn't put yourself down. You don't forget you produce 93% of your electricity is sustainably generated in Kenya. Don't put yourself down. You're not that. You're actually pretty good. I mean, the big advantage here, especially in terms of electric production, is 7 hours of sunshine on average per day. You know.
What about mobility? Because our vehicles still use a lot of fuel.
That's a chicken and egg thing. You know, once you have the electricity and you have the charging stations, you'll be able to you'll start seeing more electric vehicles coming in. So it's like I said, it's chicken and egg. What comes first, the car or the charging station?
What are the options are you looking at for the embassy?
For the embassy, well, we've had, like I said, we went completely off-grid in our operations. For now, we have one electric vehicle. We're in the process of buying an electric boda, an electric motorbike, and we're looking at how we electrify our second vehicle. All
right. So you talked about solar panels, recycling your water for use, and what else? Gas for cooking. We make our own cooking gas with kitchen waste, and we grow our own vegetables. All right. And you'll be showing us that, and e-mobility.
And e-mobility.
All right.
Absolutely.
So you will be showing us the spaces, and so that you can get to see more of that.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yep.
Let's see more of.
Let's go take a look.
Yes.
All right.
So, Mr. Ambassador, really, this carbon neutrality concept, how did you come about it? And how did you decide to make the Belgian embassy the first embassy in Nairobi to go carbon neutral?
So, my wife and I arrived here in August of 2021. It was the middle of COVID. And one of the things an ambassador does when he arrives in post is he sees a number of constituencies or a number of groups of people, local political actors, NGOs, other embassies, business community, but also your own diaspora, so your own nationals who live here. And one of the couples we met in that process was a guy called Loic Amado and his wife Valerie Super, and they own and run a camp in Masai Mara called Embo River Camp, which has its unique selling proposition that it is the first and only, so far, carbon neutral safari camp in Masai Mara. And they were telling us the story of the camp, and at some point in November of 2021, we decided that we would participate in the marathon, the Mara Elephant Project's annual fundraising marathon that they do in the Mara. And Loic and Valerie invited us, the whole team, to come and stay with them. It was an absolutely fabulous night that we had in the Mara with them. They were unbelievable hosts. But what they do when you check out is they show you what makes their camp carbon neutral. They show you their solar panels, they show you their water recycling, they show you their biogas, they show you their vegetable gardens. And while Loic was showing me around, I kept thinking, but this is the same infrastructure as mine. We're in completely different businesses, absolutely, but it's the same infrastructure. He has a number of buildings, he has a couple of cars, he has a couple of dozen people who work for him. I have 2 buildings, I have 2 cars, I have 25 people who work for me. This is the same infrastructure. Do you think I could do this with my embassy? That's what I asked him. He came in and looked, and he saw the 700 square meters of flat roof on the 2 buildings. He saw the incline, which meant that your water flow was a lot easier. He saw the fact that we had enough land to grow our vegetables, and that we also could produce enough kitchen waste to produce our gas. Maybe enough kitchen waste, but anyway, I'll tell that story later. So I asked my ministry. I said, how about we try and do a net zero carbon neutral embassy, the first one in our network.
So even for Belgium, this is the very first one.
This is the first one in our worldwide network. Yeah, this is the first one.
Yet you've traveled quite a bit in your life as a diplomat. Have you ever come across anything like this anywhere else?
Oh no.
Why did you think that this would work for the embassy here?
People say I like to think outside the box, so this was like a kind of a wild idea. And I had a colleague in Brussels who was perfectly willing and just as enthusiastic to do something completely outside the box, which was to turn the embassy net zero.
How was the reception, even by local staff, that now
our staff here are completely on board. They love it. They're as proud as we are. I think you noticed when driving in, and we have the same sign up at the residence where it says "Belgium goes green." It's our tagline, and we're the whole staff is really proud of it. The diplomatic community is constantly asking me how we did it, how much it cost, where the idea came from, etc., etc. We even got the UN to start thinking about what they can do in terms of carbon neutrality and net zero emissions when they're renovating the Gigiri campus.
Has anyone else from your diplomatic world taken it up?
Not yet.
Tried it in the embassy?
Not yet, but we've only been here a year and a half, and it takes a while to procure these kind of things. But I know for a fact that there's a couple of embassies who are looking at building new installations here, and obviously they're all looking at how to make that as green as possible.
How has this impacted on the workings here? Because now you're in a place where it's cosmopolitan, you have access to piped water, you have access to grid electricity. Now you're not using all that.
We're not. We have our own borehole, we have our own electricity. I mean, when the power goes because the grid can't handle something, we're not without power. So we have our own power source.
But do you have downtimes at any time?
No, because we have both the solar panels, but we have enough battery power to last about 14 to 16 hours. So overnight we can we charge our buildings. We run our buildings on the batteries that we've charged with the sunshine during the daytime.
All right. Well, have you done any calculations to check if at all there are any excesses, probably gaps that needs to be filled, that probably it's not nil?
There was a look. Okay, so the electric system has a number of backups, right? We have the solar panels, and the solar panels charge the building, and then they also charge the batteries so that the buildings can run overnight. If those batteries go down below a certain level, the first thing the system will do, because the two buildings are connected, the first thing the system will do is check in the other battery park if there's still enough power there to charge the whole system. Then, if that's not enough, which is very, very rare, if that's not enough, we fall back to the grid. And philosophically for us, that's fine, because Kenya, as you know, produces 93% of its power sustainably. So within our going green philosophy, using the grid as a backup is absolutely not a problem. And then we have our security guys back home who insist that we don't ever run without power, so we do have a generator, but we want to put biodiesel in the generators.
What about because I know in our Kenyan situation we still don't have enough e-vehicles or e-motorbikes. So I'm sure your staff may want to use some vehicles.
We have 3 chargers on the property.
Yes, but what about the vehicles that come to this embassy and probably belong to staff that still use fossil fuel? How do you account for that?
Well, that's the one reason why there's a difference between net zero in your operations and carbon neutral.
Okay.
Carbon neutral would mean that if we were to achieve carbon neutrality, we would have compensated for our staff using fossil fuel vehicles and the concrete that went into building the buildings, right? We haven't achieved that yet, which is why we're trying to go for net negative in our operations, i.e. producing more energy than we actually use and give it away for free to our neighbors or to our staff. The gas, for example, we can give to our staff once we've figured out how to bottle it. And when we're at net negative, that's when you start compensating for all the carbon that you have used and are using, and that's when you trend towards carbon neutrality.
Do you do any of that?
Not yet, but because, like I said, we only just connected the 2 buildings. This is a system that's being tweaked constantly. But the idea is to produce more electricity, at some point, to produce more electricity than we actually need, to store that in batteries and to give that away to our neighbors.
All right. Is there any other aspect of this carbon neutrality that we are yet to capture in as far as the production of electricity is concerned?
Well, I talked about the electricity and I talked about the gas, which are the two things that we can make more of. The other two things that we do and that we consume everything that we produce is our gas, is our water recycling and our vegetables. And we can go take a look at that right now.
Exactly. We'll do exactly that after the break. Keep it here.
What we do is we tell our clients, people who come for visas and passports and stuff, we tell them, look at the little cupboard next to the herb wall, check inside, and you'll see a pair of scissors. Yeah? Go ahead and cut your herbs for tonight. So when Mama is making your pesto for the spaghetti, my logo is on your kitchen counter.
Welcome back to BALOZI Speaks, My Country, My Story. Before the break, we had the remarkable story that connects His Excellency Ambassador Peter Maddens' family legacy to Kenya from his father's first diplomatic post to his own final chapter here. We've seen how the sun powers this mission and spoken about what inspired it, and now we're about to see how it also feeds them. Join us as we step into the embassy's hydroponic garden, where diplomacy is quite literally bearing fruit.
Anyway, so this is our vertical hydroponic vegetable garden.
Right.
Yeah, it's a space saver to begin with. So how this works is this: the vegetables are stacked on top of each other, and there's irrigation 2 times 3 minutes a day, no more than that. The growing medium is volcanic pumice. It's not an organic material, so the water runs through these boxes and feeds the roots of all the vegetables. As you can see, it's stacked 5 up, which means that you need a lot less space than in a normal vegetable garden. You know, 3 generations ago here in Kenya, the average plot for a family was 10 acres.
Oh, yes.
Right? And the father had 4 sons, or 5. Now all of a sudden the average plot becomes 2 acres, right? And each of those have 5 sons, right? So now all of a sudden, each plot is half an acre or less. The only way in Kenya you're going to keep feeding your family is by going vertical.
Right.
And that's what this kind of stuff does.
So how much water do you use here?
Oh, there. No, sorry. How much water? There's a 5,000 liter tank there that gets fed by the water recycling system. And that's the water we actually make. We feed for irrigating the garden. We feed it with largely with liquid waste from the biodigesters that are nutrients. Where in that liquid waste you have nutrients. We feed it largely with that. We add another couple of things. We feed that water, and that's what we recycle.
So you also do water treatment in the same compound?
Yes.
All right.
We have a borehole. We mix the borehole with city water when needed. That water gets used in the buildings. When it's used, we capture it. We mix that with rainwater that we capture. We have 100,000 liters of rainwater tanks across the property. So we mix the rainwater with the used water. We feed that with the nutrients from the biodigester, with the liquid waste from the biodigesters, and that we use to irrigate both the lawns, the garden, and most importantly the vegetable gardens.
Well, you know what number of different species you have in this?
That depends on the season. This has only been going on for about 1.5 years, so we're still timing when to plant what, so that we can have optimal use of the space. Sometimes there's a lot more here, and as you can see, we have the cauliflower and we have tomatoes. You can see the tomatoes over there. There are radishes, there are artichokes. We're even trying Belgian endives.
All right. So in comparison to local plants, and probably those that originally from Belgium, which ones do better in such a setup?
Oh, the thing about Nairobi is you can have 3 to 4 harvests a year. In Belgium, you can only do 1. Here you can do it 3 or 4 times because of the sun, because of the climate. We've tried everything, and most things actually work.
What do you consume mostly from here, from this garden?
Actually, mostly we consume the herbs, but we have the radishes are really good, the cauliflower, broccoli, The tomatoes are amazing. When they get going, that is absolutely prodigious.
In as far as local cuisine is concerned, what's your favorite, first of all?
My favorite local cuisine, nyama choma.
Nyama choma. Vegetables, local vegetables. Do you know managu?
Sukuma wiki.
You've not done managu?
No. But they have. We grow it here. We grow it here because we have so much space here that we let our staff as well.
But sukuma wiki does well here.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Shall we go check out the water recycling?
Let's go check out the water recycling as we wind up.
So this is our one of the parts of the recycling system. This is a nature-based solution. There's a grid of plants that we put in about a meter of water. The root system is so finely meshed that when we start moving the water around for about a week in this lagoon, it gets filtered to the point where it can be used.
It's filtered naturally by the
Yes.
roots of the plants.
Yes.
So no use of chemicals.
None. None whatsoever. The used water from the house gets filtered. Well, it gets cleaned in a sequential batch reactor, which is basically aerating the water to the point where all the materials become microscopically small. That then gets put in here, and that gets filtered out by this, which we have the water go back and forth for about a week. And then there's a big tank over by there. And that tank is what feeds the irrigation system for the vegetable garden.
And once the water is through this system, are we saying that this is safe to what extent?
Well,
what can we use this water for?
Well, we use it for irrigation.
Okay.
We could, I mean, with the UV filtration at the end of it, we can actually consume it.
Oh.
But we already have the borehole and the city water, which is clean enough. But we could consume this water if we wanted to, with one more filtration step.
Do you hope to do that?
Yeah, probably.
Just to ensure that now you collect all the water and use it.
But I mean, I've been here for 4 years. I have one more year to go. I need to leave something to my successor.
Is there anything else that you feel that you need to do a bit more just before you
Well,
leave?
I need a little bit more capacity for the electric system. I need more battery capacity so that I can start giving it away. I need a little bit more capacity for my biogas, and I need a little more capacity for my water as well. Or at least a little bit more filtration capacity for my water, which is another UV system or something similar. And you know, this is a long project that the plan is to keep it growing, to keep developing it, to make it better every time.
Oh, great.
And you can't do everything at the same time.
In terms of sustenance of this project after you leave, do you believe that your successor will be someone who will ensure that this continues? Or are you leaving systems to ensure this one never changes?
Well, we're leaving processes for sure, yeah. I'm asking my authorities to make sure that whoever my successor is, he or she has enough interest in the system to keep working on it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that we're actually very proud of. We had our Minister of Foreign Affairs here, and he actually officially inaugurated it. So it has quite the visibility back home as well.
Do you hope that probably in a few years or decades down the line that this will be the official policy of the Belgian?
I hope so, yeah. I hope so,
Every
yeah.
embassy out
Every embassy, yeah. I mean, look, the biggest advantage that we have here in Nairobi is the climate. 7 hours of sunshine on average per day, all year round. We have enough rainfall. We have on this plot, we're lucky enough to have a plot that's big enough to sustain all of it, and also that's on an incline. So you only need to pump the water half the way that it usually gets pumped, because the other half of the way it follows gravity. So you know, this is a particularly good place to have this system put in. But over the next, you were asking the question, over the next couple of years or next couple of decades, technology will catch up, and solar panels will be efficient enough, even in places like Northern Europe, to sustain a building or buildings like this one year round. Which means that, of course, you know, once the technology catches up with the needs, we'll be able to do this everywhere.
And listening to you and the passion with which you speak about Nairobi and enthusiasm, and one wonders, once your mission here is done, are you going to stick around a bit longer, or are you?
Well, if anybody wants to use my specific profile, feel free. Call me. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that. Thank you for the tour of your embassy. This is beautiful, and we hope to have more of this in our other discussion.
We've seen the full cycle of sustainability here, from the solar panels powering the mission to the vertical hydroponic garden feeding it. But the Belgian Embassy's green philosophy extends even further to a small yet beautiful tradition of sharing.
What we do is we tell our clients, people who come for visas and passports and stuff, we tell them, look at the little cupboard next to the herb wall, check inside, and you'll see a pair of scissors. Yeah? Go ahead and cut your herbs for tonight. So when Mama is making your pesto for the spaghetti, my logo is on your kitchen counter.
And what programs does Belgium currently have in Kenya?
Well, the thing is, you see, about 25 years ago, we reviewed the countries with whom we do direct development cooperation, bilateral cooperation, what they call official development assistance. And we decided that Kenya was actually doing so well that with the limited amount of money, we wanted to focus more on the LDCs and LLDCs. Well, that means that we don't have an official development program in Kenya anymore. That doesn't mean that we don't do anything. We have a number of NGOs that we fund. Lawyers Without Borders. There's an organization called ACTEC which finances Kibondeni Hospitality School. There's a program within the Ministry of Education to increase capacity on the management of secondary schools. So with that, and that happens with Belgian NGOs that come here. We call that indirect cooperation. The other thing we do is we fund, we do concessional financing for commercial products. So we subsidize interest rates. We actually give some grants to companies to come and do stuff here with their Kenyan partners, and it's much more on a commercial basis. Which, by the way, I believe, but that's a personal belief, which I believe is the future of our relationship. Anyway, we have to have a more commerce and industry and investment based relationship in future. That's how you're going to grow, and that's how we're going to be able to grow as well.
Now, the story of the Belgian embassy in Nairobi is one that transcends conventional diplomacy, as narrated to us by Ambassador Peter Maddens. It is a story not just about a remarkable legacy. It is also about an unwavering commitment to ensuring that our environment is sustainable. Now, these are the kind of stories we love to tell on this show. See you next time.